Hey guys, Stacy here with Wreaths and More, here to show you how to take those ribbons that we picked out just a minute ago and put them into a bow. We actually picked out 6 ribbons, and so we're going to show you how to make that into a large bow. Turn this camera around. Okay, so the colors we picked out, dropped one, were the 4-inch blue, the 2.5-inch brown, the 2.5-inch, I don't know what color that is, green and brown mixed, and this green and this yellow. Oh, one more. It was this one. This is a velvet with gold. And it went here. So let me get those out of the way. So this first loop is going to be pretty big. I want my tails to be, they're going to be 10 inches. And then I'm going to scrunch that and twist it. And then my bow is going to be about, from here to here is 5 inches. So my bow will be, I'm gonna make it 7 inches. Okay. So I'm holding that with my finger. If you're able to hold this with your hand while you do that, you don't have to use this board and lay it down if you don't want to measure. It hurts my hands to do that. So I'm choosing not to. Scrunch that piece in the middle once you get your loop, your 7-inch loop, and we're going to cut it off. I'm going to pull this piece up, pull this piece down, because I just made a single loop. That's all I made. Now I'm going to take my brown and do a single loop with it. Again, I want these tails to be about 10 inches. Scrunch it in the middle and twist it. Even though this is a smaller ribbon than the blue one, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. I'm going to make it at 6. So 5, 6 is my loop. And cut this one off. I try to use like a really loose rubber band on mine. I don't want it to leave marks on it, so I make sure it's tight enough to hold it, but not so tight that it makes a crease on it. Now when I use this one, I'm going to go ahead and do a few extra loops. So I started one going in this direction so that the bow would be over here, and when the other one I went in the opposite direction so the loop would be on the opposite side. Hope that makes sense. So again, with this one, I'm going to start on this side. We'll come back and dovetail all of these later. Now, trim this one up. I'll go ahead and dovetail it just so that I've got to. Here's my mark. Trying to decide if I still want this one 10 inches. Now, how do I determine what I want is trial and error. If I end up putting this on the wreath and I don't like all of these tails this long, guess what? I'll cut them. It's that simple. If I put all this together and I don't like this bow, then I'll take it apart and do it over. That's part of crafting. So I do think I want this a little bit shorter. So I'm going to make it about 8. Twist it any way you want. And now I'm going to make these loops about, as long as they're smaller than the previous loops. At this point, I'm not really measuring numbers as I am visual. Twist it. I want 4 loops this time. And I want all these 4 the same. I want to make sure these are about the same. That one, I thought it was a little shorter. No, I don't want it longer than that brown one though. Maybe I do. Maybe it's about equal with the brown. That's where I wanted it. Okay. I'm going to let that roll down. So make it easy. Sometimes just throwing your ribbon off the table, it makes it easier to work with. So make 4 loops, and then I'm going to cut this tail longer. Usually I use this to hold my ribbons, but I just wanted to show people that didn't have this how you could make it without using it. One thing you can also do is just when you're letting go in between, is just use this to hold it while you get your other ribbon ready. That's not the way you're going to leave it. So the next ribbon, tail, shorter than the previous bow. This time I'm going to make 2 loops. This one's harder to finagle. And then cut that off. Them fingers. The worst part is putting all the ribbon back up when you're done. Then I wanted a more solid green to pull out that green. not much of this. Maybe there's enough. We'll see. If you're not really sure if you're going to have enough sometimes, and you've just got a smaller piece like this, you can put both the ends together. Find the middle. Pinch it. Put it where you want it, especially if you're only going to make one loop. And just make sure that you have enough to go where you want it. That way you know that you're making your loops and you're leaving your tails about the same length. Especially if your ribbon like this is the same color on both sides and you're not having to worry about the twist. Hope that made sense. Hope you could tell by what I was doing. I kind of want to pull this in still. I'm just debating. Because I could do it the same. And this is all I have left of this ribbon, so that's why I'm not sure. Doesn't leave much tail. So if I did it, still helps to have it scrunched in the middle, just because it's easier when you get ready to use your twist tie. Okay, it's getting full. I also like having a very bold contrasting pattern like that that stands out, which I didn't have on this. I just think it needed it. And then we'll use this yellow. Now, one thing you can do with your final ribbon is do an odd number of bows and make your last bow smaller. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there's the 3. But then this bow I want to be small, tiny. I'm going to twist it right there and bring it back over. That's my final bow. I'm going to thread that pipe cleaner through so that way it'll help hide it if you don't get it pinched tight enough. Flip all these pieces over, slide your pipe cleaner around, and then pull that as tight as you can get it. And get your first cinch on when you, whoo, let me cut this off. Oh, I almost messed up. So once I got my first twist good and tight, then I just grab a hold of both of them, pick it up, twist it. Okay, start fluffing. Initially, I had these because I just want that color showing. Let's go ahead and dovetail them. We'll want to do that before we dovetail everything. That one did. fold it. Start where you folded and go toward the edges. Go to the points. So start in the fold, go to the points. Fold it. Start in the fold, go at an angle toward the points. Fold. Did we get everything? I think so. If not, we'll get it later. Okay. Love this blue. This is probably my favorite color ever. Want this brown showing out? Showing out, yeah, I like that. Either side of that, because that gold and that is, because the gold would go pretty as well with that kind of mustard gold there. Pull these loops out like this and pull these loops out, starting at the bottom and going up. As you do, you can kind of pull up in the middle, and that's what's going to give your bow the fluff. Closest to that where centerpiece is where you're creating your fluff. Okay. Just want everything going in opposite directions. So if I got a bow here, a leg, a tail there, a tail here, a bow there. We'll make this loop to go here. I want a loop going up here. Go opposite. So you see here on the top that bows are loops and tails. So this is a loop. I want a loop up here, and I want this tail at the other end. This brown tail down here. Sometimes you gotta pull them good to get them to do what you want to do. Same thing with this green. Now, you can flip it all you want while it's on the table, but the reality is you're going to move it all around and bend it all up and everything before it actually gets put on the wreath. So once you actually get it on the wreath that you're going to put it on, then you're going to end up squishing it. So you got to reflip it again. So here's the sign. There is no wreath yet. And then, let me hold it by the pipe cleaners. Here's the bow that's going to go with the sign. Let's see if you can see them together. So what do you think? And depending on like this bow, where it sits on the wreath, kind of hard telling. I'll probably want this blue part to be dominant at the top, showing, or kind of closer to, my thumb is numb. Anyway, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell without it being on the actual wreath, but I hope this makes sense. If you like this video, I hope that you subscribe and support, and let me know that you like it, and let me know what else I can do to show you how to keep picking out ribbons to match your signs, and eventually how to pick out ribbons that even when you're not using a sign. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you.